What's going on, y'all? So we have got my 5-team video for the month finally here. Took me a few days to get it out. I have been pretty busy recently, and so also when I get you guys these Poke Pastes, the EVs that I have on Showdown might be a little bit different than the EVs on some of the teams. I think some of the IVs that I ended up, or EVs I ended up using ultimately will work, and I got the necessary ones that, it's like when it really matters, you know what I mean? Like for the Dialga, for example, versus the Yveltal on this team, the Yveltal is a lot more bulky than the EV the on Showdown, whereas the Dialga is like exactly what is on Showdown. And I think, it might benefit the Yveltal to be a little more bulky, because it, it can still hit really hard and only has like 30 less special attack at level 100, So things like that. But if you guys do enjoy the content, I do appreciate y'all being around, so do appreciate or do consider giving a like and subscribe if you do want to stick around, because I know we're getting very close to 200, and I definitely, feel like I've been putting in a lot of work to get somewhere. So thank y'all for sticking around and being here. So let's go over this team really quick. Or, as much as we need to. This is the team that I brought to the USPA match with Gizgam, which I'll link, wherever the thumbnails or the things go. It's a slight adjustment because we have Rotom instead of Raichu. The Raichu was a lot better, like, direct counter for Zacian and Kyogre teams, and so, like, when we had that, like, for the specific matchup in USPA, that was, like, perfect, And so if we want this team to be more universally applicable, like, through broader matches, switching the Raichu for Rotom ultimately should kind of help, honestly, because Rotom is a very threatening Pokemon in this format. We do want it to have Protect over Dark Pulse, because in case you do need it to be in front of a Kyogre or something, like, you're probably going to need Protect at some point. So we have that over Dark Pulse, but the Rotom should give us really nice utility as like a extremely bulky Pokemon against Zacian and things like that, being able to use Nasty Plot. And, the Raichu was nice because it had Nuzzle, but it's it made the team a little bit less offensive, but it provided extra utility in some sense, right? So there's give and take. We've got a Life Orb Dialga, which is like max speed, max special attack, but beneficial special attack, so it will outspeed things that you need it to. In Tailwind, outspeeds Regieleki, won't outspeed Kyogres because if you don't get Tailwind up, because it doesn't have that, speed match with the beneficial nature. Then we've got a Assault Vest Yveltal, which can Dynamax. I kind of had a hard time going between Foul Play and Sucker Punch. Foul Play is really good for the Solgaleo matchup and the Zacian matchup, but Sucker Punch obviously has priority, which can be really useful. So this Yveltal can be really great in endgames because sometimes it just like snarls things away, and then it can Oblivion Wing itself back, and can like 2v1 things like it ended up doing in my USPA match. Then we actually have a Fake Out Protect Rillaboom with Grassy Glide and Woodhammer. You could argue for knockoff over Woodhammer, and that would, provide the team some decent utility. But if you want this Rillaboom to just kind of hit really hard, you have Grassy Glide and Woodhammer, right? So there's that. We've got the Gastrodon with Earth Power, Ice Beam, Recover, and Yawn, and leftovers. Yawn is pretty important. Recover, you could take off for Protect, and I think that's totally understandable. You could even put Scald on. You just, have to be careful when you're using it. But in the broader matchups, like, Scald will actually be useful, is the thing. So I think that is something you could do. Hurricane, Taunt, Tailwind, Protect, Tornadus is pretty standard. And we want Focus Sash on this one, just because I don't know, nothing else has the focus sash, but like you could go mental herb if you are afraid of getting taunted. So I think, yeah, it's something to think about, right? But like focus sash torn does have its benefits. So we got, yeah, Team B here. That's just a, you know, it's like a joke from somewhere. I don't remember what it's from, but this team can definitely put in work, and I guess I am excited to use it because it is, I would say, one of the more solid teams I built for this month. Next, we've got the boys, which is, like I was saying in last video, a adaptation of my Zacian Kyurem White team, where I basically just felt like, okay, we have a really solid core here with Whimsicott, Entei, Rillaboom, and Blastoise, and if we kind of just find 2 decent legendaries to slap on the team, it'll be just as solid. So we have a Mental Herb Whimsicott with Moonblast, Tailwind, Protect, and Fake Tears. I did think about going for a switcheroo Whimsicott and a choice Scarf Calyrex, but I just felt like it's too, you need Protect on things. I was gonna run a no Protect team and just be like, try this no Protect team. But like, and it really could work very well. Like, this team is very deadly, but like in general, I think this is gonna be better. So yeah, we do have the Whims to help set up. We have a choice Specs Eternatus with Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, Flamethrower, and Dynamax Cannon. Shadow Ball you could definitely drop for like Sludge Bomb, or I mean Sludge Wave, but because this team has very little protects, I think it is important to kind of just use like Shadow Ball or something else. Then, you know, we've got Blastoise. Blastoise with Mystic Water can actually, pretty much like with 1 Dynamax Cannon plus Dynamax Cannon, you know what I mean, Hydro Cannon chip, it will take out Zacian, and it takes like maybe 50% from Zacian, so it is pretty nice. You could do like Wakan, but the idea is that you shouldn't need to rely on Fake Tears. Like, Fake Tears is really to support Eternatus and Calyrex, right? If they need it, and mostly Eternatus, because I mean, it has the specs, but sometimes Dynamax Cannon will miss KOs, especially on like Assault Vest things. I also changed the Eternatus speed bracket so that it is just outspeeding a max speed Thundurus or Tornadus or things like that. So it is that like 355 at level 100 mark, instead of like 353 or like 351, I think it was that. Then we have the Assault Vest Rillaboom, pretty standard. We've got Life Orb Entei now instead of Assault Vest Entei, so we kind of switched it up. The idea being that Life Orb Entei is actually very crazy, and in Tailwind it outspeeds pretty much everything except for it outspeeds everything except like Regieleki, and I mean, I don't I mean, like, I could make it outspeed Regieleki if I really wanted to, like, you know, but I just kind of figured this is fine. But you know, I think it is a give and take, and it's something for me to think about when I'm using this team, like, because it's like the same Assault Vest set as my other Entei, and that's originally how I was going to use it anyways, if I'm correct. Like, even if I look back at my old EV paste for my Life Orb set on Showdown, like, I think it's not even going to outspeed Regieleki, so I did that for some reason. But Grassy Glide, Dynamax Cannon, Astral Barrage, I mean, like, are we really that worried about it? So yeah, we'll play around it. But I think this is a really solid team, and I think, like I said, the core is very threatening. We also have Speed Swap on Calyrex, in case we want to actually, like, Speed Swap with Eternatus, and then, like, outspeed a Zacian with Flamethrower, or, like, Speed Swap with Entei. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that I think it can do, and, I kind of, like, one of the videos, like, James Beck or someone posted recently, just reminded me that it had skill Speed Swap, so, you know, we're also eventually going to do a Magnezone Speed Swap video, but I don't have that team ready. We'll probably use that team next month, if I'm being honest. Okay, Next we have a kind of more meme team. If you're gonna do anything, you're gonna take a Raquinid off for Grimmsnarl or something, or maybe take like Regieleki off for Thundurus, and you can do like Thundurus Tornadus lead or like things like that. You know what I mean? But ultimately, pretty scary team, I think, in some ways. We actually have a Life Orb Torn on this team, so that is kind of unique in some sense compared to my other teams for this month. And we're also trying a offensive Assault Vest Ferrothorn on this team. So we want this Ferrothorn to actually be one of our viable Dynamax options, in case for some reason we don't want to Dynamax Kyogre, Araquanid, or Tornadus, or Regieleki. Right, so like, if you really think about it, you probably could get away with a leftovers Ferrothorn on this team, but I think people have to respect the leftovers Ferrothorn, which kind of affects the way that they play, right? So it's kind of useful in some way. But I mean, like I said, it is actually a very viable Dynamax option. It can one-shot Kyogres with Power Whip and you know, things like that. Araquanid, really crazy, can one-shot Incineroars with Liquidation even when it gets intimidated. Like, it's, you know, it's a good Pokemon. Gets Wide Guard, gets Leech Life, punishes Trick Room, so does Ferrothorn. Like, you know, so we have like Trick Room punishes, and they can also function okay outside of Trick Room. Then we just have, you know, Zacian and Kyogre, one of the best duos in the format. We are running a Protect Kyogre on this team for whatever reason. I just felt like, let's not use Scarf Kyogre. I think I have like 4 Kyogre teams this month, if we're being honest, so Kyogre's up. But Kyogre is my fave, so he's out here. I drew a Kyogre on my whiteboard for the kids this yesterday. It was pretty funny. So yeah, I mean, I think all over, I think this team's gonna be really, I think this team is gonna be really crazy. The Focus Sash Regieleki, that's actually physical, should be interesting, but ultimately without the Life Orb, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. So you do have to be careful about that in the face of like intimidates, but are they really gonna like want to intimidate you in certain instances? Because like you have Kyogre, so man, you have Tornadus. Like this team should do pretty well. We might even be able to get a match in today. I think we will. I think we will. Then we have this really fun team with actually we're just gonna go for the same Kyogre again. I did think about doing Scarf Kyogre on this team, but the idea is if you don't have enough protects, it's gonna disbenefit you pretty heavily. We do have more or less answers to the things that Kyogre wants to protect against. Like, you know, we have Celesteela to go against Rillaboom, things like that, you know what I mean? So we're really, like, in some sense, not that worried about it. We have Lightning Rod. But what we really want to do a lot of the time is try to Dynamax Celesteela, and even if you don't get to Weakness Policy boost it, like, this thing, because it does get the Beast Boost with Special Attack, like, it can kind of run away with games, and it does have Giga Drain to help you answer, like, Seismitoads and things like that. It's actually a really great Seismitoad answer, so you do have that. We're actually just not running Protect on this Dialga, because I just felt like it's bulky enough, and like in this case on this team, you might just want to go Hyper Offense Dialga, and in some cases you're gonna want that Dynamax Wormlet. So like, whatever, we can't Protect. Like we're just gonna hit things hard. And we also have a Choice Scarf Ditto, which is really fun. You know what I mean? So all over, pretty good team. You know, the Raichu supports the team really well. We have switch-ins for ground moves, which are a big threat. And, you know, you could, I mean, like, make it less memey by doing something other than Celesteela, right? But, like, I think it should be pretty good, so we will try that. And in practice, like, this team actually did do really well. Like, it does, when you look at it, you're kind of like, how does it answer a lot of things, you know what I mean? But like, having the Ditto, having the Celesteela, having the super powerful Dialga, like, it works, honestly. So we've got that. The +1 Celesteela is really good even against like Zacian too, so there's that. And then lastly, I actually just decided to keep the weakness policy Zygarde team available. I know not everybody who is seeing this video will have saw last month's video, so this was easily one of my most deadly teams last month. I brought it to the February IC, and we did really well. I stopped playing once I hit, like, what is it, like 1700, right? Like, yeah, so I stopped at like 1709, and you know, I had like 12 more matches to play, but I just didn't feel like playing them. So the one difference now being that we actually have Protect on Whimsicott instead of Fake Tears, and the only thing you can really use Fake Tears with to like any super benefit anyways is Kyogre, and I mean, you can, but this is probably going to be better in some sense. So let's do that. And sorry that I'm not like explaining the, I feel like I always like forget to explain the teams as well as I can, right? But like, I feel like sometimes not everybody, yeah, is like as seasoned and like sees like directly what's happening, right? But you know, you have like the Rain for Kyogre, you have Kartana to answer ice types, which are really scary for Zygarde. Kartana is also really great on Kyogre teams in general. We have Switcheroo in case this team kind of gets in a position where it's like, what am I really gonna do against that? Like Dynamax Dialga, like Dynamax Kyurem White, like, like we just Switcheroo and Water Spout and just, okay, don't talk to me. You know, so this team can do really great things. It also has Urshifu to answer, like Calyrex Ice, Solgaleo, Calyrex Shadow, so all over great stuff. We have Ally Switch for Comfey to get in the way of dragon moves if we really do need to, or just to soak up damage for Zygarde. So yeah, I mean, like, it's great. Like, floral healing, this team, it slaps. And I think all these teams for this month can do things very meritable, but the Araquanid team and stuff like that are just a little bit more blah, right? So let's yeah. So yeah, the reason why I'm not using the dual weather team is because this is what it did to my ranking. So we're just gonna not do that. Let's try to get a good match in. It's like, you know, I'm moving my head, but you can like barely, my body doesn't move. What if I was one of those people who like knew how to like oh god. Go, go, go. Okay, good. B-boy. Does he got a B-boy stance? Okay, B-boy with the B-boy stance. I think ultimately we are gonna have to lead Whim's Eternatus with our B-boy stance. It's kind of like, how else could I play this? I could play towards like Blastoise. I think I want Entei here. Entei feels a little bit risky, but like I want Entei and maybe even Calyrex Horns, like, cause if they have a body press. If they have a body press boy, like, it can't necessarily hit Calyrex Horns. Like, it can leech seed us, though. And we also have Flamethrower, so, I mean, like, there's a lot of things. This is gonna be a little bit crazy. And they probably know that, too. I think I could have capitalized on how crazy it's gonna be by leading something like Blastoise. They do lead Dialga. So here's what I think, okay? I think it's a lot more likely that they will try to set up a light screen than that they will try to paralyze me, or, you know what I mean, because I have Tailwind, like. But if I have to, I'll switch out. Interesting. What are they gonna do? Okay, they do light screen. Let's see it. I doubt we're gonna get the KO, honestly. But if I do, let's go. Let's go. Lando Dringus. Okay. So we're gonna need to be careful around Lando Dringus. But I think we've got the tech to deal with it. Yeah. So I might sacrifice Lando. Or I mean, you know. This should still do a lot. I don't think we're in a perfect position, but this should still do a lot. Yep. So I think so far we've been making the right plays. How low is their health? Can someone remind me? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I just can't imagine them ever living this is the thing, so. And I'm confident enough that they don't have Sucker Punch, right? They might, I think, Protect here would be smart, but they don't. Yeah, so I think we're playing this right. I really don't see them being able to get out of this. Oh, and they have Thunderous, okay. I think in that case, this is gonna get a little bit more difficult. Cause, like, what I could do is I could fake Tears, right? I just don't, like, I don't want to set off a Defiant and then get hit with, like, a super strong Wild Charge. I do have Sash, though, so I think that's something to remember. Yeah, so we have Sash. Like, this should be fine. Unless they use, like, Fly. This should be fine. Crunch. Yep. So we should be fine. I hope. Yeah, we're fine. Because we lower the defense on Grimmsnarl, and then we have Sacred Fire, we have Calyrex, and they're in a pretty bad position here, so. Yep. Okay, well, we played around that, didn't we? Oh god, that was scary. Like, I was like, oh god, like, don't do me like this, B-boy. But I think we made every play right, and I think that's ultimately what counts, you know? Like, we remembered in time that we had Sash, you know, all the stars aligned. We should, oh, yeah, there you go, there you go. Okay, nice. Well, hey, great video, man. If you watched the whole thing, like Angela VGC says, consider giving a like and subscribe, because, you know, I'm out here doing the thing, and I appreciate y'all. So, with that said, I hope you have a good day. I hope you did enjoy the video, and let me put on the outro.